their head with it. They should have cred with it. You either fight or flight, I ain't one for the ledge living. I do it for the one that died but fed millions. With soul food flowed and stocked my bare kitchen. I'm liberated. I drew a play that they ain't illustrated. I make a move, they gladly imitate it. I ain't flattered, I'm a dragon to your paper castle. The Alpha and Omega, promise it ain't nothing after. A new beginning. My catalog like James Earl Jones, the ever living.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL has us at the venerable Superdome in downtown New Orleans. Today we've got a Week 6 matchup for you here between the Cincinnati Bengals and the New Orleans Saints. Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. And we will not see a run back on the opening kickoff. This will be a touchback. They begin on the ground with Kamara. And a loose football.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home, the next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Winston to give. It's Kamara. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Officially, it's a one. So that's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
At the 39-yard line.
Winston. They'll get this out to Kamara. And some room to roam now. And they'll get this down to around the 47-yard line. And early on, they're picking up right where they left off last week.
And I know a lot of coaches say each game is its own. You don't really have carryover. This feels like carryover. So much confidence from the previous game that they're using to their advantage now.
So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 47. Coming left is Kamara. And he'll get this down only to about the 46. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. The Saints in 2 and 3 here to begin the new season. And they were winners their last time out, so they'll be looking to make it 2 in a row.
And so much about football, partner, comes down to mindset. Being in the right frame of mind, and the best way to get in that good frame of mind, winning. So they come in feeling good. They've got the home crowd behind them. I think they're going to be tough to beat in this one.
They follow up the first down 1-yard run with a minimal gain of 2. Well, this defense for the Bengals, they were very solid last week in the victory over Baltimore.
It was a little bit enlightening talking with the defense coordinator about their performance last week because the feeling was that it was a good, solid performance. They did what they needed to do to get the job done and get the win, but definitely a few lapses that they're looking to correct.
Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Marquise Bell. And the Bengals will take over here as they get it up to the 43-yard line. Well, that is a quick lesson on how difficult this defense is to throw against. An interception on their initial drive of the ball game.
Now we know why their offensive staff spent the entire week awake trying to prepare for this one, because you can't totally shy away from throwing the football. But at the same time, you're looking at them and going, where are the weaknesses? How are we going to move it?
One of the top defenses in the NFL for a reason. We just saw one example right there. Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Burrow looking to pass. It's caught left side by Cooks. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. Good yardage after the catch. Is that play good for 30 and a first?
Well, that's something that this defense is not going to be able to allow if they're going to have success here. They've got to be able to wrap up and get guys on the ground. They end up letting him get away, and it turns into a big play here early on. I can just see veteran observers of the game shaking their heads and talking about the dearth of tackling in the game today.
There again is Cooks, complete. Touchdown! Brandon Cooks scoring a touchdown against his former mates. And the Bengals use the early turnover to get on the board first here in this one. Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0.
Saints, nothing. Evan McPherson to kick off for Cincinnati.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number 2?
Going back to your game plan coming in, everyone has matchups that they like better than others. Where they think they have an advantage, dial up some of those plays. Try and go to those spots and get your offense moving.
To throw again on 2nd down. Winston. And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure. There for the sack, B.J. Hill.
And if we go back to the last series, remember, their coverage allowed them to get a turnover in the last drive, a takeaway, and that helped contribute to a sack on this one. I think maybe this quarterback's a little bit hesitant. Last time he turned it over, now he sees his zone coverage. A little bit slow to get rid of the football.
On 3rd down, Winston. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
That looks like it's going to be 2 empty possessions now to start this football game. I think they're going to have to sit down and talk about what worked for them last week in their win. Sometimes you over-game plan, overthink things. Get back to what works.
And the win last week punted 4 times as this one's away. 42 yards on the punt, just 2 on the return. And the Bengals take over 1st and 10. The Bengals drive about to get going. They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. And look, they're on the road. So getting the 7-0 lead was huge for them, right? Imagine getting up 2 touchdowns on the road, taking the crowd out of the game. It'd be ideal.
Pretty good results here on the first down run as he takes this forward for about 6.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Brings up 2nd and 4.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. They'll stay on the ground, mixing again. And this defense not giving him anything there. Maybe a yard up to the 36.
He may be a bit undersized compared to the modern-day NFL defensive tackle, but what he lacks in size, he definitely makes up for in his ability to make tackles in the run game as well.
And for the Saints here on 3rd down, an extra defensive back on the field. Now it's Burrow. Throw complete right side to Cooks. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 3 catches now this afternoon, the same number he had all of last week. Also, it's a first down.
On 1, right?
After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports.
Score, Bengals 7, Saints 0.
Mixon with a first down carry. And he'll get this into enemy territory, but not by much as he's down to the 48. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. They're passing here. Joe Burrow. And he can't find anywhere to go with it. And he goes down. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. Defense went 3-4. They got some push from the inside.
And this is something in a 3-4 you don't normally get because the nose tackle who got the sack, he's usually responsible or ends up getting double-teamed and sometimes triple-teamed. How about him working his way back and putting the big guy on the ground?
So that'll leave Burrow and the Bengals with a 3rd and long after that sack we just saw. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. So now a 3rd and 12 with an extra defender here in the secondary, a nickel look. Now Burrow. This is caught. It's Cooks. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20.
A gain of 34 yards.
From the red zone now, here's Burrow first down. Now Burrow loses the football. And this is picked up by the Saints. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line.
With no running backs in the backfield to help pass protect, all the receivers in their patterns, it's going to be hot routes if they sense a blitz or pressure on the quarterback. They've got to be prepared to break routes off early and get the football. In this case, never even had a chance. They popped the ball free in the backfield.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. A quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete.
Receiver coaches preach to their guys all the time. Separation, that's what's going to make the play successful. That time there was very little, and I think they were actually fortunate that it was only knocked away and not intercepted.
Once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10. Quick throw to Olave. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
That's a gain of 8. Brings up 3rd and 2.
2 minutes gone by, second quarter. Winston on 3rd and 2. Trying to get it to Thomas, and it's intercepted. Daxton Hill picks it off. And a great return as he gets this all the way down close to the 30-yard line.
Partner, when you're playing cover 2, this is like a tag team for the safeties. Each of them gets a half-field responsibility. Their job, stay as deep as the deepest receiver in any zone, read the football, and go make a play. In this case, the free safety made the best play, an interception.
Burrow going to give this to Mixon. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. David Onyemata, excellent effort. And he earns a tackle for loss.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Back to Mixon on 2nd down. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. A chance of wasting this great starting field position. A real threat. This is 3rd and long. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. Man open, that's Jamar Chase complete. So the completion good for 7 there. And that'll bring up 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. McPherson's kick is good. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. Well, still early in this one, Charles, but the last time this offense was out there, they threw their first interception of the ball game, so trying to avoid repeating that mistake here on this drive.
And to put a positive spin on it, at least it happened in the first half and not in a close game in the fourth quarter, but you're absolutely right, partner. One of the last things this offensive quarterback wants to witness again in this game.
Kind of an obvious question, Charles, but anything you try to avoid after your first pick, or you say it's one interception, we're starting the first half, I'm going to do the same thing?
I think you want to avoid playing scared, and put it into the mind of the quarterback that you've lost confidence in him. Make sure you get some throws that he's going to be able to complete, make him feel good about himself, and continue to run your offense.
And he'll muscle his way up to the 43 for a pickup of right around 5.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage.
Now a first carry for their fullback. And this will wind up as Saints first down as he's got this up to the 45-yard line. 12 yards there, good for a Saints first down. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the first half, 10-0 our score. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Kamara up the middle. Solid running on the carry, but still brought down just inside of the 40. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
They've created a nice sustained drive off of plays like that. A nice strong run there that keeps them advancing the ball.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Jameis to throw it.
Complete to Olave on the out route. And he's going to be marked down just inside the 35.
A 5-yard gain on the play. That's another Saints first down.
On play action, Winston. And he's got the hook up to Landry.
And they're going to move it down to inside the 25.
A good passing down here, and they send 3 receivers to the right of the formation on 2nd down. Winston now.
Locates Kamara on the out route.
And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
That's now 4 completions in a row. A good bounce back following the interception last drive.
Certainly not letting it affect him, that's for sure. And we all know interceptions are going to happen. So the big trick, don't let it affect you going forward. Most of the good quarterbacks, they just tell the ball boy, get that one out of the rotation, give me a fresh ball, and let's go. He's got his offense moving again.
To the right side and complete to Thomas.
And the Saints are going to be set up with a 1st and goal coming up as they get him down at the 6-yard line.
That's a big league job there, getting out of the pocket, not panicking, and just buying himself some time. Then he made a good, accurate throw to set up 1st and goal.
1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Try to pound it in, Kamara. And he takes this down to about the 2 before going out of bounds. Give him 4 on the carry there at 2nd and goal. When we talk about being on schedule, I think they're on schedule after that run, getting it right down there on the doorstep.
Maybe even a little bit ahead, because now the defense can't dictate with pressure. They're guessing about where you're going to go. I might come right back at them with the same play, the same set, and see if they can stop them.
This is kind of one of those in-between plays here, Charles, on 3rd and goal from the 2 or the 3 in that area. What do you dial up?
Something quick hitting. You don't have the time for something to develop slowly. It's got to be right at them if you're going to run the football. And if you're going to throw it, something quick, get it out of your hands in a hurry.
And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. Alvin Kamara as the first half is winding down. And the Saints are able to cut into this lead in the final seconds of the first half. Lutz good on the extra point. And that'll cut it to 3 at 10-7.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away.
And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Bengals drive about to get going.
And leading 10-7, and they may just want to get this to the locker room.
Rolling to his right. Nothing open downfield, so he'll throw it away.
Oh, I saw this one with defensive eyes, because even as he escaped the pocket and bought time, the coverage stayed tight. Nothing broke down. Throwing it away, that was his only option.
So following the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 25. Burrow will throw. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu.
Well, Charles, you're so close to halftime there. You throw the interception. Not only that, you do give it to them in plus territory as well.
Yeah, they were pushing real hard to try and get something more on the board on their side of the ledger right before the half. Looking at it with 20/20 hindsight, though, might have been better to hand it off a few times, hoping to get something to break instead of putting the ball in the air and, of course, putting the ball in jeopardy.
A 10th carry for Kamara.
Oh, and that one well designed as he'll take this down to the 30-yard line.
So we've hit halftime. Just a field goal separating these two teams at the break. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gunn, getting set for quarter number 3 here. The Bengals set to receive. They have the lead and the football to begin quarter number 3. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards. The Bengals drive about to get going. And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line could play a little bit better. I think they'll try and help them out more. They'll probably keep a tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation to pick up those pass rushers, because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half.
On second and very short, Burrow. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. That's the former Buckeye Pete Werner getting the sack. This defense coming out after the half, and if that plays any indicator, Charles, maybe a little refreshed and refocused here for quarters 3 and 4.
Yeah, they did really well on that one. That's exactly what they need to keep doing if they want to change their fortunes in this game.
Here we go. So that'll leave Burrow and the Bengals with a 3rd and long after that sack we just saw. They'll set up to throw. Steps away to his left. And this is going to be incomplete. So it would appear they will not be able to add to their lead on this opening drive of the second half.
Yeah, if another touchdown was scored there, now we're talking about a 2-score game, and they're probably on their way of creating an excellent gap between them and their pursuers. But how about the defense there, able to step up and keep themselves in this one?
A very nice job on the run back there. He'll get 23 yards all told. And the Saints will have a short field in front of them. They take over here, 1st and 10. They go play action. Winston. He's going to rifle one deep left side. That is caught by Olave. Touchdown, New Orleans. So a very strong first drive in the second half, Charles, as they turn that halftime deficit into a 3rd quarter lead.
And they were pretty purposeful there, weren't they? Measured in their approach. But boy, they executed awfully well, moving the ball down the field.
Lutz with the extra point. And the lead is now 14 to 10. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. Here we go. The Bengals drive about to get going. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, but they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
On 3rd down, Burrow. Now he's going to let it go deep right sideline. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Well, defensively, they haven't let him just sit in the pocket and get comfortable, and that's opposite a lot of game plans in today's NFL. Ordinarily, you're trying to keep the quarterback hemmed in. In this case, they brought the heat, and if he flushes out, they're fine with that, and they force another incompletion.
A nice return that time, gets 12 yards back. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started.
Well, partner, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here.
And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure, unbridled joy after that one.
On 1st and 10, Winston. This is complete to Michael Thomas. And they'll work this down inside the 30.
All-pro receiver Michael Thomas missed all of 2021 while recovering from an ankle injury. But we'll never forget that he set an NFL record in 2019 with 145 catches. When healthy, borderline unguardable, just like he was on that play.
And this is thrown to the sideline. No receiver in the area, though, and that's going to bring out a flag.
Yeah, he hadn't gotten far enough away from the pocket to throw that football away, and that draws the flag.
Yeah, the old tackle box, right? Get outside of each tackle, and then you can go ahead and throw it away, and you're in good shape. But if you're back there in the pocket, you got to make sure of what you're doing.
And, Jameis intercepted a third time. Picked up by Jesse Bates.
And the Bengals are going to take over here at their own 22-yard line.
Well, and I saw the pressure coming at him. That just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw. And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
They will throw on 1st down with Burrow. Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. Pete Werner able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
And this dominant defensive performance continued on that play. This poor quarterback has not received the protection he needs and has had to pick himself up off the turf far too often.
Another try after the 1st down sack. Burrow. Hit as he throws there, incomplete.
And this drive was almost over before it began thanks to a great defensive effort. Sack on 1st down, followed by an incompletion. One more good rep, and they get off the field.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Dancing to his left. Now he'll throw deep left side. And that will be incomplete. They weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. Here's Jordan Berry now. As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Landry now on the return. Now a hit and a loose football. And running with power here.
And that's what friends are for.
As the returner, you know who you're buying dinner for later.
Oh, without a doubt, because he just took care of you and your team in a big way. You know, you turn it over there, that's a big momentum changer and put your defense in a bad spot.
And throwing here to start the drive as they connect left side. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 23 yards, the final tally.
As they began this drive, I was wondering how they were going to attack since they're playing with the lead. Would they continue to try and push the ball downfield? Well, after one play, it appears that the answer is yes.
Now a 1st down carry. It's Kamara. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. Now they'll run the option to the short side left. Oh, he bowls over it. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets this down to about the 21 or 22.
The keeper gets him 7 that time, and it'll lead to a 3rd down.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the 1st down.
From the gun, Winston. And that will be incomplete.
Quarterbacking 101. Never force the ball into double coverage, especially not this close to the goal line. The windows are so tight, you just don't want to force it in there because it could be tipped up and picked off.
The kick by Lutz is good. And that moves him up by a touchdown now at 17-10.
So a nice kick there as they are able to add on to their lead.
And that's exactly what you're looking to do. Maneuver yourself into range. That way, if your drive stalls out, you're able to get something out of it. And they do so right there.
And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25.
The Bengals drive about to get going. They find themselves down 17-10 as they come up on a 1st and 10. Burrow now off the bootleg. They'll roll him out right. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away. He has still not connected on a single pass in the 2nd half.
And right now they're going through all the different reasons, the whys, the wherefores. Bottom line, got to find some completions in there and get their offense moving.
3rd quarter of a tight football game as we come up on a 2nd and 10. Here's Burrow. Throwing for Chase on the crosser. He's got it. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. Burrow to his old LSU teammate Chase for a Bengal 1st.
Here we go.
Now back to throw.
And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down.
As his old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out high. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Burrow.
And he'll just get rid of it. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yes, let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They give him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions.
To the air again, Burrow.
That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down.
Well, Charles, sometimes we talk about the lengths officials sometimes go to protect star quarterbacks, but that was tough to argue against.
Yeah, and I'm sure that everyone's going to say, hey, we're going to administer the penalty the same way for all quarterbacks. But when it's a star back there, even more so are they going to be diligent about throwing the flag.
After the penalty, it's Mixon.
And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
3 quarters in the books.
You are watching the NFL on EA. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Burrow looking to pass.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. Bradley Roby, the ex-Buckeye, with a quarter blitz in the sack.
This defense, they just continue to feast. 5 sacks now as a unit. It's been quite an afternoon getting to the quarterback.
And we're seeing it come from a variety of places as well. Sometimes just the guys up front getting to him. Other times you add extra guys rushing the quarterback, twists and stunts. It's been a variety, and they've had no way of blocking them.
And the catch made. It's Tyler Boyd. They'll give him 4 yards there, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Barry on to punt as he gets this one away. Now Landry. 35 yards that time on the punt.
And they will take over 1st and 10. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. Their defense got the stop, forced the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead. Meanwhile, Winston's throw complete there to Johnson.
And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
Well, how about this aggressive approach? Got the lead, 4th quarter, continuing to throw the football. Are you thinking about Super Bowl 51? Atlanta had the lead against New England, and they ended up giving it up?
I was going to say, don't say it, but you did say it.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah, anybody watching Atlanta, our apologies.
55 rushing yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 13 times.
Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
We'll go down as a gain of 6, and that'll bring up 2nd down. To throw, Winston. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Trey Flowers picks it.
And the Bengals are right back in this football game.
A critical error there in a tight game in the 4th.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the 4th quarter, turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the 4th quarter with a lead, no matter at what point, you got to be super careful.
You got to be careful, and sometimes you can be so careful that you end up running yourself into an error.
Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. Again, it's Mixon. And he's going to take this across the 50 and into Saints territory. They get 9 yards back on the run there, and they're left with a much more makeable 3rd and 2.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down. How about this defense? They came up with a couple big plays in this sequence, and none better than the one right there, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down.
They get this out quickly to the left side. And he'll be taken down here just shy of the 30.
Like the design that we're seeing right there. This is what they need. Down by a touchdown here in the 4th. They just need to keep working their way downfield. And when they see openings, take their shots.
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this 2nd half. Here's 1st and 10. From the gun to give to Mixon. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. Out of the gun, it's Burrow. He gets it to Cooks.
And they're going to get this down inside the 20.
It's a gain of 13 for number 13, and it gives them a 1st down. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They come up on a 1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be their final drive.
Here we go.
The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10.
And they come with a jet sweep here as Burrow just taps that forward.
And he gets us inside the 10 to the 9. It's also a gain of 9. Line of scrimmage, the 9. Second and about a yard. They go back to the ground now with Mixon. And now they're going to get him down right at the line of scrimmage. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. 3rd and inches, and they've got some extra beef up front. 3 tight ends. Burrow going to keep it on the sneak. And he picks up the first as he's able to take it down to the 7-yard line.
There may have been a little bit of an element of surprise there. 3rd and inches, and they go quarterback sneak. I still feel like this is a play that often is reserved for 4th down.
A looming decision to make on the conversion, down 7, but first things first, they need to score as they come up on 1st and goal. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. It'll be a gain of 5 there as they move closer. It's 2nd and goal.
That's good hard running right there on 1st and goal. That gets them down to the 2 and puts a lot more pressure on that defense.
From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. And this is not going to do it as he stopped at the 2-yard line. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter play. A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play, 3rd and goal. Mixon trying to punch it in. And yes, he's into the end zone. So they get the late score they needed. And now the extra point can tie this thing up in the final minute. Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good. And we are tied here in the 4th quarter. 17-17 the score. All even to this point as the kick's away. And with time a factor here late, he'll just take a knee and they'll put it out to the 25. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started.
Well, partner, here it is. They've got the chance to win the game. You'd have to think they need to get it near the opposite 40 to have a chance to kick a game-winning field goal. We'll see what they can do.
And you're right about that, because if you look at it in macro, that's what it looks like. But I think in micro, the head coach has already asked the special teams coach, what is he feeling? What does he think? Where does he want the football? What's the yard line we have to get? And he's already relayed that to his quarterback and his offense. They know what the goal is. Now the key, can they get there?
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
That certainly appeared to be a play call where they were just trying to make 2nd down, 2nd and short. I think they thought the coverage was off a little bit more than it was. Nice job there pressing up on it and forcing the incompletion.
Winston to throw. Here we go. This to avoid overtime. And did he catch it? He did. A touchdown. One of the most improbable finishes in recent history. They've won it on the final throw. So this one a victory here for New Orleans. And a little bit of a surprise they lose the turnover battle, but wind up winning the ballgame.
And this is very unusual because you know all teams stress winning the turnover battle as a key indicator to winning ball games. So when you get something that goes against the grain like the one we saw here,